Thank you everyone for giving me this opportunity. First of all, I would like to thank my parents for allowing me to be part of the Divine Life Society since the age of 8. And before we start, I think we all can recite together, right? Mangalam.
Kailash is not just a peak, it is the summit of your spiritual awakening.
I'm going to talk about Swami Shivananda's trip to Kailash and Mansoba, and also a little bit of what is the spiritual teaching behind it. So most of this presentation that I have today is actually summary of what is in this book. Okay. Thank you, Moji, for giving me this opportunity. Every year you give me some idea. So next year I'll probably come back to you. Okay, before I run through, most of it are actually pictures and maps and basically extract from internet, right? The voice that you just heard just now is actually AI generated. Why I'm emphasizing on this? Because we have just completed Game Changer. Again, one of the highlights in the Game Changer is what? AI. So we want to share to everyone that we are also embracing AI. Okay? Okay, introduction. I'll just read through and I'll try to explain as much as I can. On the 12th of June 1931, Gurudev Swami Shivananda undertook a sacred pilgrimage to Mount Kailash and Lake Mansoba. It was not just a journey across terrains, it was a journey into the soul. Through 26 harvesting stages, 9 ascents and 4 descents, Gurudev traversed Himalayas with unwavering faith, spreading light to every traveler Gurudev met along the way. The most important part of this yatra was to actually bathe in Mansoba to perform parikrama of Kailash, was his offering to Lord Shiva and humanity. The snow-clad peaks, the silence of the hills, the sacred waters, they became the mirror of his inner stillness. Gurudev wrote, Kailash hills are a huge range with a central, naturally carved and shining peak eternally clad with silvery snow. The sight purifies the devotee's heart. This yatra reminds us a true pilgrimage is not to measure the miles, but in surrender. May this journey inspire us to climb the Kailash we did. That's mainly the gist of this book. Standing almost 23,000 feet. It is a place of sublime silence where the soul feels elevated beyond worldly distractions. This is quite true because most of my friends who have went have mentioned this. Lake Mansoba, formed from the mind of Brahma, is portrayed as a crystal clear lake whose waters cleanse the sins of 100 births. Bathing in it is considered a gateway to liberation and divine grace. Swami Shivananda quoted, there is no mountain like Himachal, for in it are Kailash and Mansoba. As the dew is dried up by the morning sun, so are the sins of mankind dried up at the sight of Himachal. This was actually depicted from Ramayana. Actually did not go alone. He had companions. So those who have actually followed him is Swami Sri Brahmachari Yogananda Ji Maharaj, Maharani Sahib, Surat Kumari Devi. This is what you actually mentioned, one of the princess actually from. And then Sri Pandit Kedarnath Ji, the Sri Pandit from Kedarnath Ji also was part of the pilgrimage. They actually started the journey by taking a train from Haridwar to Kathgodam. And then from there, they traveled by land to Almora. This was the starting point. Almora was the starting point of going to Kailash and also return. It took them almost 2 months with 10 to 15 days in between for them to rest. As you can see, this is actually the map I tried to carve out. So quite a distance actually. So this is where Rishikesh is. Alright, so from Rishikesh, we went to Haridwar. From Haridwar, they took a train almost to Almora. And from here, they started their journey all the way to Mount Kailash. So along the way, from Almora to Ashkot, Ashkot to Garchula to Gabyang, and then they crossed over to Nepal, which is called Taklakot. And then from there, they journeyed to Lake Mansarovar. And after doing the Parikrama, they went to Mount Kailash. And they actually followed the same path back to Rishikesh. So, as mentioned earlier, Gurudeva's journey involved crossing rugged terrains, icy places, and remote villages. Despite physical hardship, Gurudev always maintained cheerfulness, simplicity, and unwavering faith, seeing every obstacle as a form of tapasya. This journey is inclusive of 26 halting stages, he calls it padavs, are described in detail, in which its own terrain and spiritual significances. Gurudev refers, there are 9 ascents, chadais, and 4 descents, uttarais. This is one way going to Kailash, so that means you repeat the same thing on the way back, highlighting the physical and symbolic challenges of the trek. The route passes through Gabyang, Garchula, and the forming of Kali River, which is actually the border between India and Nepal, with vivid descriptions of nature's grandeur and spiritual energy. The Litput Lake Pass is portrayed as a formidable yet sacred gateway into Tibet, often associated with deep introspection and surrender. In the book, Gurudev has mentioned there are multiple routes to Kailash. So he has taken this route. So there are others, if you want to know others, there are obviously routes. I'm just giving the summary. So this basically is how it looks like the terrains all the way to Lake Mansarovar and then later to Mount Kailash. The next ones are all some of the pictures that it's taken. Gabyang, this is how the terrain looks like. Imagine back in 1931, how this is recent for me, 2025 to 2020. Right. On your right is actually some villages. The photo quality is not very clear because of the restrictions that I have in this presentation. Ascot is also heavy terrain along the way, as you can see. And then next one is Garchula. There's some houses. These are the village houses look like today. 1931, they don't know. Maybe more was than so this is Kali And this is what Gurudev has mentioned, the forming of Kali River, a symbol of spiritual energy and purification. He also mentioned the Lipu Lake Pass is a high altitude gateway to Tibet, testing endurance and surrender. Taklakot and Kojarnat is a Tibetan town where Gurudev interacted with locals and absorbed cultural wisdom. And Kailash Parikrama, circumambulating the sacred mountain, a symbolic shedding of ego and worldly attachment. Okay. A little bit of how the journey looks like. The terrain, how many meters are there? Like Gabian, Lipule, Kalakot, how high they are. So this is Lipule Pass. As you can see, it is actually a journey to deep terrains, quite dry. On your right are actually camps along the way. This is Taklakot and Kojarnat. Taklakot is one of the towns in Tibet, and then Kojarnat on your right is actually a temple. I couldn't get a better photo, quite blurred. So this photo actually on your right is actually a temple where Rama, Sita and Lakshman were residing in their Lake Bansowar, many of you have seen. And finally Mount Kailash. Okay, so Gurudev's spiritual observation. Throughout the journey, Swami Shivananda practiced japa, meditation, silence and selfless service. He observed nature as a living guru. I think last year on one of our topics, Sadhana, living guru by nature was actually discussed. Teaching humanity through its vastness and unpredictability. He also interacted with fellow pilgrims, Tibetan locals and guides, offering compassion, sharing teachings and learning from their devotion as well. These exchanges reflected the universality of spiritual yearning, transcending language and culture. He also said to many, the fruition of all earthly desires is the crowning glory of a visit to the sacred places, by which the sins of former births are cleansed. Reflection and teachings that Gurudev had shared. Gurudev's reflection emphasizes simplicity and detachments as keys to spiritual progress. Nature's silence as a mirror for inner stillness. Pilgrimage as sadhana, a path of purification, surrender and divine remembrance. Gurudev also have encouraged aspirants to undertake their own inner yatra regardless of physical travel. And then Kailash is not just a peak, it is a summit of your spiritual awakening. So what can we summarize from this? Concluding, Swami Shivananda concludes that the Kailash Bansowar pilgrimage is a symbolic ascent toward God realization. It is a call to live the teachings of Lord Shiva through service, love, purity and meditation. Santam Shivam Advaitam. Mandukya Upanishad quoted by Swami Shivananda. The summary is, inspire reflection on one's own spiritual journey. It doesn't have to be Kailash, it can be anything. Simplicity and surrender as tools for transformation. As you go further in your spiritual life, it is important to be more simplified and surrender. Always draw a parallel between outer travel and inner ascent. Gurudev's faith and cheerfulness and also reverence amidst all this hardship along the way teaches us how to be simplified and surrender. That's all I have. Before I finish, I would like to also play one more message. With permission of all the management team, I would like to say with folded hands and hearts filled with reverence, we pause to reflect on how truly blessed and fortunate we are to walk the path paved by Gurudev Swami Shivananda Saraswati Maharaj. We are all blessed to be part of this journey. To be called a disciple, a devotee, or a follower of such a towering spiritual life is not just a privilege, it is a sacred responsibility. Gurudev's teachings continue to illumine our daily lives, showing us how to serve, love, give, purify, meditate, and realize. His compassion, wisdom, and towering example remain our constant guide amidst life's trials and trials. From the management, we would like to express our deepest gratitude to each and every devotee, volunteer, and spiritual experience who has given their time, energy, devotion in support of our beloved ashram activities. Your presence and participation enrich the spiritual atmosphere and bring Gurudev's teachings to life in service, bhakti, and community upliftment. Whether through organizing events, attending satsangs, or simply offering a smile of kindness, you embody the spirit of selfless service and loving unity that Gurudev so graciously taught us. Let us continue to walk together with melody, enthusiasm, and unwavering faith as torchbearers of this divine life lineage. Thank you.
Gurudev's Swami Shivananda Saraswati Maharaj bless you all.